One thing I've noticed that is a benefit to being a people pleaser. So again, say you grew up living with narcissistic parents and you learn to be a people pleaser. Basically, you learn to go along with your parents' grandiose narcissistic delusions all the time. You can actually convince them and manipulate them to do things. You can feed into their delusions. You can joke with them and you can go along with them instead of criticizing them or being negative. Since I am very introverted INTJ personality and I'm very serious and I don't even talk to people very much. I don't want to waste my energy dealing with somebody that I know is going to be abusive, controlling, and treat me like crap, and then delude themselves and act like it never happened, and act like everything is hunky-dory, and want to do some extravagant crap like rearrange the house or buy a bunch of crap, or just that's where the benefits are. So for example, since my wife grew up with a bunch of narcissistic parents, she learned how to manipulate and to be a people pleaser, and she's actually really good at like jobs and work because she knows how to read people, knows how to tell them what they want to hear, and she just does it naturally. So people like being around her. And even though she herself is very introverted and stuff, she can get along with people because she prioritizes reading people, trying not to upset people. And again, she grew up doing it, so she does it naturally. So it doesn't really. But for me, in the family that I grew up in, everybody was antisocial, kept to themselves. Would tell each other to screw off. And you can't really do that with a narcissistic person. They will punish you. You're not feeding into their delusions and stuff like that. So, like what I typically do is I stay silent, and then her narcissistic, parents will fill in the blanks, come up with all this creative, delusional spinning in their heads, and then she can manipulate them to do things. But if like I'm too honest or I'm actually talking to them or trying to reason with them, they go crazy. They can't handle my opinions or me just talking in general because I trigger the living crap out of them because I do not consider what they want to hear at all. In fact, I try to be rational and judging the situation without thinking about their delusions. So, I will probably honestly never be good at, manipulating people or getting goody-goody with people, because it takes a lot of energy. And honestly, I think a prospecting personality is better at doing that. A judging personality is just so serious. A prospecting, they're more into the goofiness. And it's kind of interesting, like if you see a lot of Indian people, they kind of have this pompous arrogance, this, grandiose, like things are going to work out for me. I'm special. I'm going to use and manipulate people. I'm going to get what I want and it's going to be great. I'm kind of curious about that, like how many Indian people are actually depressed, because like the few that I've talked to, they happen to be rich, but like they know things are going to turn out good for them. They can be as grandiose and delusional about their prospects as much as they want. They may not get anything from it for years. They may just flounder and fail, but they are just as delusional as ever that things are going to work out, and their delusions are going to come to fruition. And they just kind of look for targets, look for people nonstop to use and to get what they want, like a narcissist. So I think that's where you get all those Indian scammer people and stuff, and just like it's just this arrogance, this very positive, uplifting, delusional. It's almost like a mechanism to keep your cortisol levels low, So, and people talk about that, like the more you argue and feed into a narcissist, they're going to feed off of it. the more you get emotional and upset, the more they're going to feed off of it. So, if you greystone them and just kind of act silent and boring, eventually they're going to get really annoyed. They're going to start poking and prodding and screwing with you to try to get something out of you. So I don't know if I will ever be able to read, like, and I've always done this even when it doesn't come to manipulating people, but like I remember so many times over the years I would find somebody that's like a social butterfly that has that kind of energy to just kind of talk to 1,000 people, and I will kind of like sit on the sidelines or behind them and interact with them directly while I have them doing all this social, manipulation and work for me. So I don't have to use that energy, so I can focus on myself and my internal thoughts and just, be myself alone by myself. But, using a social and a lot of times social people will actually seek me out, I've noticed, because again, they're constantly seeking other people out. So, they'll occasionally start talking to me, and they'll be like, hey, sadly, a lot of times, like, I don't even want to talk to them, so I can't even leverage them. But if you ever get goody-goody with a social person, you can kind of use them to use their energy to do things that you don't want to do. It's kind of like a mastermind. It's kind of like, that brain bug that controls all the little bugs. It's like you want to get control of the brain bug that's the social butterfly and control that brain, So you see that a lot in movies where you got like all these dumbass minions, and then you got the smart one telling them what to do, and you kind of want to get that kind of power without having to do all that work. And I think it's the same with narcissistic people. You don't want to get too close to them so that they can use and abuse you, but you want to use people that know how to manipulate them and people please them and feed into their delusions, and then the next thing you know, they're buying extravagant gifts, they're doing extravagant favors for you, and then you just kind of keep your distance, So you're not paying for it, you're not having to do the work, but they're going off on these grandiose adventures that's doing your bidding. And I definitely think that's what's currently happening in my life, where I don't have to do anything. And it's things are being done for me, so I don't have to do it. So anyway, see you guys later. I think it's kind of interesting that you can use narcissistic people from a distance, because god damn, it was terrible being around them, being told what to do, being talked down to, just awkwardness, and it was pretty bad, my dudes. It's nice to have the freedom and some of the benefits without having to deal with them.